A couple of days ago, the long-awaited anime Record of Ragnarok, or Shumatsu no Valkyrie, as ever you want to call it, just dropped on Netflix, and it certainly has people talking left and right. The manga is an ever-growing in popularity series with a very simple premise. A simple but genius premise. So genius, in fact, that even people who have not read the manga at all have seen videos such as Adam versus Zeus pop up in their recommendation feed. Record of Ragnarok is a manga that will put 13 of the most notable humans throughout human history against 13 of the strongest gods in all of mythology. Have them fight one after another in a series on one-on-one battles, and as the gods battle to wipe out humanity is trying to prevent that at all costs, and it will leave you on the edge of your seat with every single battle. But that's just the manga. What about the anime? As a person who started watching these types of well-edited videos on YouTube, such as Adam vs. Zeus, Lubu vs. Thor, and all of that, I transitioned into reading the manga, and I found myself enjoying it a lot, especially as an artist and a mangaka wannabe. Seeing the gorgeous art style by Takumi Fukui had me begging for more. The intensity and ferociousness with which these battles were illustrated rivals even manga like Kengan Ashura, Baki, or even Hajime no Ippo. Not only that, for me, Record of Ragnarok has some of the best interpretations of gods from mythology I've ever seen. I'm especially talking about Thor, you handsome devil you. So seeing an anime adaptation being announced surely got me hyped, because how could it go wrong? Well, I'll tell you how it went wrong. It didn't. It didn't go wrong at all. You see, other more seasoned veteran YouTubers managed to watch and make a video about Record of Ragnarok the moment it dropped on Netflix. And I was very sad to see that a lot of them had a very negative and disappointed reaction to the anime. With the release of those types of videos, they started a chain reaction where people just straight up turned on the Netflix series, going around on the internet and saying things like, it's just a PowerPoint presentation. The anime is shitty, they absolutely butchered it, they ruined the main fight, and stuff like that. And that's honestly nothing new or shocking to see from the anime fandom. But as I watched this giant wave of fans take a shit on the anime, I was already on episode 4 out of 12. I could not have been more confused from what I saw. The things I've seen so far really did not match anything I was hearing from the internet. Yeah, at the start the pacing was a bit rough, that's for sure, and it had some questionably presented backstories, but overall I was receiving the same type of enjoyment and energy as I was reading the manga. Everything from the music, to the voice acting, to the direction of certain scenes, comedic timing, and even color direction left me honestly extremely satisfied. So as I sat there baffled at where the outrage was coming from, I came across a scene of the long-awaited Adam vs. Zeus fight floating around on Twitter. Now, this is the most iconic fight of the series so far, hands down. So this is pretty much the make it or break it moment. What I saw had me extremely worried. It was basically what everyone was saying, just a bunch of images moving around like a PowerPoint presentation, and I was like, fuck, not like this. Please, God, not like this. But when I actually watched the episodes, I couldn't help but be filled with anger and disappointment. Not because the anime butchered the fight, but because of the gross misrepresentation that it was giving from the internet that will push people who are on the fence about if they want to watch the show or not away. This so-called PowerPoint moment is literally just a smidge of the actual fight. Yes, I agree, having it pop up right at the boiling point of the battle was certainly a bitter feeling, but people failed to talk about everything else in this fight, which was animated and directed damn fucking good. Adam's entrance alone, bro, oh my god, they did that shit so much justice. Are you kidding me? Why isn't that floating around on the internet? This fight hit like every single beat exactly as it should have. There are some still frames spliced in the middle of the battle, I admit that, but honestly they were drawn so freaking good with these bold, scratchy outlines and beautifully picked colors that I couldn't help but just geek out at how good they looked. They delivered on the hype levels, and as a manga reader, if we exclude the last few moments of the battle, which were indeed lackluster but honestly not that detrimental to the whole experience, I was left very satisfied. Now, honestly, everything I said about the Adam vs. Zeus fight can pretty much be applied on the other two fights. I will not talk about these fights in this season, especially the last one, because I want you to watch it for yourself. I'm not entirely sure how I still feel about it, but it is a contender for the best done fight of the show so far. I genuinely got goosebumps and it had me screaming, "Let's fucking go," by the end. What I want to do is talk about something that's been grinding my gears lately. I feel that the anime fandom has been very spoiled in terms of good quality shows. Ever since shows like One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer came out, the bar of expectations has been set astronomically high for fight-oriented anime. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Having wonderfully produced anime shows like that is always a joyous moment, but with time, these exact shows have turned anime fans into savage, never satisfied, always hungry for more quality beasts. These type of anime fans really expected Record of Ragnarok to be a 12-episode Sakuga fest, never dropping in quality, always over-delivering, and if they actually received such an adaptation, well, guess what? They still wouldn't be satisfied. And it baffles me because I honestly think the studio did the best that they could with the material they had. Because as much as I love the art of the Ragnarok manga, let's be completely honest here for a second. The fight choreography is not that rich with some of these battles. Adam vs. Zeus is literally a billion punches thrown non-stop with the occasional kick thrown in there as well. What the fuck did you expect the anime adaptation to do? This fight is not good because of its fight choreography, it's good because of its narrative. Also, a lot of these fights are interrupted by characters talking and analyzing the battle like non-stop. Their reactions to moments, flashbacks, and backstories thrown in to build up more suspense and anticipation. And honestly, if you're angry at that, well, guess what? You're not gonna like the manga either. It's certainly not for everyone, and that's perfectly fine, but manga fans going around claiming the anime somehow butchered the original material is honestly just silly. In general, to sum up my thoughts, what I want to say is, rather than constantly shitting on every anime for its downsides, why don't you try and maybe switch it up once in a while? Focus on the good sides. I'm not saying lower your expectations or standards, but try to appreciate the good things, because Record of Ragnarok, the anime, is full of good things and has a lot to offer in terms of enjoyment and good quality, and I definitely think it does not deserve the hate it gets. Yes, it has its downsides for sure, but I think the highs definitely outweigh the lows, and I think you should give it a watch. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Sorry if this video came out a bit preachy, but I just felt like in the sea of negative reviews the anime is getting, I had to be at least one of the few people to talk about the good sides, because I genuinely think it is a very fun show. I will not sit here and bash on it and pretend, I didn't like it. Doesn't matter, maybe a lot of you will not agree with me, maybe this video will get extremely hated, but it is what it is. I refuse to budge on my stance. I had fun, and I think if you give it a try, you will have fun too. In the meantime, hope you enjoyed my little drawing here. If you want to see more of my art, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon at BakuDraws. Link is in the description, and I'll catch you all whenever.